History celebrates its great figures with statues, portraits, and legends. But behind the shining image, many of them carried dark secrets, terrifying habits, or mysteries that still leave us unsettled. Napoleon Bonaparte was obsessed with his own death. He kept poison in a locket, ready to swallow it if capture seemed near. When he finally tried, the dose failed and left him writhing on the floor, choking and gasping, the most powerful man in Europe, helpless against his own fear. Alexander the Great, worshipped as a god by his soldiers, once killed his closest friend Cletus in a drunken rage. The next morning, he begged the gods for forgiveness, but some of his men whispered he was cursed, for when he died, his corpse did not decay for days, as if something unnatural clung to him. Leonardo da Vinci, the brilliant mind behind the Mona Lisa, filled pages not only with art, but with designs of silent killing machines and weapons meant to maim in ways unseen before. He dissected corpses at night, surrounded by the smell of death, sketching veins and bones by candlelight, as if he could not rest until he had mapped the secrets of the dead. Abraham Lincoln dreamed of his own death. Just weeks before his assassination, he described walking into a room of the White House and finding a coffin draped in black. When asked who had died, he replied, "The president." The dream haunted those around him when Booth's bullet struck. Andrew Jackson carried bullets inside his body from duels he survived, the lead slowly poisoning his blood. His enemies called him unkillable, a man fueled by rage, who once left a corpse hanging outside his camp as a warning, smiling as if death itself served under him. Queen Elizabeth I covered her face with poisonous white lead makeup, which ate into her skin over the years. She grew terrified of mirrors, hiding them from her palace as her body rotted beneath layers of powder and silk. King Henry VIII, famous for his 6 wives, grew so paranoid and violent in his later years that he ordered executions at the smallest suspicion of betrayal. His rotting leg wounds stank so badly courtiers covered their noses, and yet he raged through the halls demanding more blood. Ivan the Terrible of Russia once murdered his own son in a fit of rage, striking him with a staff until blood poured onto the floor. When he realized what he had done, he screamed and begged forgiveness. But Russia would remember him as a ruler who even destroyed his own bloodline. Caligula, the Roman emperor, delighted in terror. He forced senators to run beside his chariot like slaves, declared himself a living god, and was said to dine while watching prisoners tortured, laughing as if cruelty itself was entertainment. Jesus of Nazareth, a figure worshipped by billions, was betrayed with a kiss by one of his closest followers. His death was carried out by crucifixion, one of the most agonizing punishments of the ancient world. The sky was said to darken as he hung on the cross. And even soldiers who killed countless men whispered that something unearthly had just taken place. Julius Caesar, stabbed by men he trusted, fell at the feet of a statue of Pompey, his former rival. Legend says he pulled his toga over his face, not out of pain, but so no one would see the terror in his eyes as the knives of friends tore into him. Adolf Hitler, the dictator who bathed the world in war, spent his last days in a bunker, pale and trembling. Obsessed with omens, convinced of betrayal, He tested cyanide on his beloved dog before using it on himself. His empire collapsed around him, leaving nothing but ruins and shadows. These leaders, kings, artists, and prophets carried within them not just greatness, but darkness. Their habits, fears, betrayals, and deaths remind us that even the most powerful were haunted by human fragility, sometimes in ways more terrifying than their enemies ever were.